Hi everyone, this is your overview of Module 9, which is Human Resources Management. So human resources, in my opinion, is the hardest part about being an administrator. When I worked as an administrator, probably the part of my job I found most difficult because I have no problem motivating myself, but motivating others or implementing corrective actions when they're not doing like they should be doing can be a little bit tough, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. And you would think even some of the strongest people with the strongest personality, it would come easy to them, but it doesn't. And so the whole point of this module is to really start to give you some exposure to human resources, talking about all the requirements of human resources, and then how do you actually evaluate and provide feedback to employees who may not be doing as they should be doing. So you can see you have a couple of different readings. I really encourage you to take some good notes when you're excuse me, reading these 3 additional resources, because it's really there to help support you as you do the last assignment. I see a typo, please ignore it. So these are really about discipline, counseling your employees, and then if an employee is bullying in the workplace, how do you deal with that? So to get you ready for this, because this is not something that just comes natural to anyone, you really have to start learning about human resources, what it is, and what your roles and responsibilities are, as well as what is legal for you to do. I want you to do some e-learning on this. So the Institute of Child Nutrition, so this is the organization that oversees and helps with a lot of resources related to school food service. So if you have any interest in school food service, the ICN website is amazing, and that's somewhere you need to go. But they do a lot of training for their directors and managers in a variety of areas. And one of the ones that they have that I really like is employee discipline. So they have one of these modules. So you're going to go to their website and you're going to go to e-learning. In the course catalog, you're going to enroll yourself in the HR series called Employee Discipline. So you're going to complete the learning module, and you're going to click through and learn all the different things, and you're going to upload the following for this assignment. You're going to have screenshots of the 3 quizzes, and I have to see that you've made a 75% on all those quizzes. If you do not make a 75%, you can't go on to the next module. So you're going to take it, and then you might have to retake it, but once you make that 75%, take that screenshot, go on to the next module. And then you will also have a completion certificate. So that's what you need to upload. So while it's not required, you might be interested in some of the other HR courses, performance standards and expectations. So that's actually telling your employees what you expect them to do, and then you have something to measure them against. I love the dealing with difficult people one, as well as dealing with conflict. These are all really good. Get in your mind in the right space when you're dealing with managing people. All right, so for the human resources one, the employee discipline is the only one you have to do the modules and get the certificate. Take the quiz, because that's all leading to, and you can see I have in bold, it's strongly recommended you do this prior to doing this activity. So let me go ahead and pull up a mock progressive disciplinary action activity. So this is where you are going to do a mock disciplinary activity. So let me go ahead and pull up the instructions for that so you can see it. Here it is. Okay, so when we look at the mock progressive disciplinary action instructions, so it's designed to walk you through a series of steps. So the first thing that you have to do is develop a position description. So you have to have a job description for a tray line supervisor, and it has to meet the format and examples given in Figure 12-3 in your Gregoire text. The position description is the foundation for the behaviors, duties, and expectations, and it's going to be used in your disciplinary process, so in your mock discipline. So after you develop that position description, you are going to record a single video that includes several different pieces. So you're going to have to do some kind of break, like you put something on a piece of paper, like informal talk, act it out, written reprimand, act it out, termination, act it out. So I just want one video, but it's going to include 3 different components in the video. Okay, so what I'm talking about is the first is the informal talk. And so it's going to be related to the behavior presented in the scenario. And I have the scenario down below. I'll show you in just a second. So then you're going to have a written reprimand, and you're going to actually have to write a written reprimand of that employee and do a sample performance improvement plan with that employee, because you want to assure the viewer that the employee that you're reprimanding understands how the behaviors have become progressively worse, okay? So you're going to film yourself, and as you're talking to whoever is the lucky person who gets to be your employee that you ultimately fire, how their behavior's gotten worse, what they've been doing. And so you have to be imaginative in this piece of it, that you're going to do a written reprimand with a performance improvement plan. And then you are going to terminate. Okay, so you need to be prepared to call the person in, explain why you're terminating them, and actually terminate them in the video. So these are 3 separate parts, but it should be no more than 15 minutes. So, you know, the informal talk and the termination are probably your shorter pieces, but that middle piece where you're working with that employee and writing them up and talking about what they need to do better is going to happen in the written reprimand. And so you've already done videos unlisted on YouTube. And then you're going to email that link to all the members of your group, because you're going to peer evaluate each other. So I encourage you to have a star in italics and use your text and as many other resources to plan what you will say for each phase of discipline. You should prepare a script for both yourself and whoever's playing Jamie. And so I've used a gender neutral name, so it doesn't matter who you have. And whenever you're preparing the script, think about what you'll say and how you'll prevent legal action after Jamie gets terminated, that Jamie can't come back and sue you. You'll have to do the sample performance improvement plan that you will use during the written reprimand phase of the video. So here's your scenario. So you are the director of a 500 food and nutrition services, 500 beds, and you have Jamie Lawrence, who's been having some issues. So your tray line supervisor, he's been having some issues, and one of the other tray line supervisors comes to you about Jamie and tells you, I have no idea how I should deal with Jamie Lawrence. I don't ever recall facing one like this before. It seems like Jamie's never here. Jamie has used up all of the sick time that is allowed, and usually these days are immediately before or after a scheduled day off. So in essence, Jamie's taking advantage of taking off too many days and is just not there. So while you agree it might be a problem, most employees are known to use their sick leave as fast as they earn it, and the supervisor continues. What's unusual is the fact that it's Jamie Lawrence. Jamie worked here 7 years, but this apparent sick time abuse has happened within the past few months. And most recently, Jamie was out for 3 straight days without ever calling. Also, I have to do Jamie's work. While it's Jamie's job to do the scheduling, I've had to do the scheduling for the past 2 payroll periods, and we're getting several complaints about the food delivery carts are late during the days that Jamie works. So you know Jamie's always been a good employee. Jamie has always been pleasant and cooperative and always does quality work. But the recent issue with attendance and performance is a real problem. So you need to decide if you're going to start a progressive disciplinary action plan, and you make an appointment to meet with Jamie later in that afternoon to have the informal talk. Okay, and so all the resources and the little e-learning that you do will talk you through each of these steps and what needs to go on. But like I said, you need to make sure the viewer understands why it progressed to a written reprimand and why it progressed ultimately to termination. So whenever we are looking back at the module, that is going to be your mock disciplinary action. Here's your performance improvement plan document. I actually have a template for you there. And this is where you are going to do your peer evaluation of the video with the link and putting people in your group, and you're going to evaluate their evaluation, their termination plan. So if you have any questions about this, this is going to be hopefully one of your more interesting, maybe fun activities in this class, but it's to start getting you in practice of how do you discipline an employee, because it's something that is really hard to learn, and so we're just going to practice it on a scenario situation. So if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Good luck. Enjoy firing Jamie, although no one ever enjoys firing someone.